damn Thrall for sending us away. He chooses to use his greatest warriors for manual labor. You'll be lost without me.
Chieftain, there's something strange about these woods. It's too quiet. Almost like we're being watched.
Are you all afraid of spirits now? There is nothing here but ancient trees and shadow.
Anaduna farore, iseraduna bandos.
Ashtarod nefanas.
You hear that? This place is haunted. I fear no living enemy, but my axe cannot cleave fleshless spirits.
Still your tongue and get to work. The war chief's new settlement will require a great deal of lumber. This section of forest must be cleared.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Warcraft 3.
I'll consider it.
On the last episode, Grom here got kinda sunned by Thrall. By the way, I should apologize in advance if my voice is a little bit hoarse today, or if I'm a little less talkative. I woke up with a sore throat. So this mission, our objective
We're under attack.
is to reach 15,000 lumber.
Green-skinned brutes have no respect for life. Slay them in Elun's name.
Yes,
Elun is not a character, it's just the patron deity of the Night Elves.
yes. They almost look like elves. But they're far too tall and far too savage.
So this mission serves as our formal introduction to the Night Elves. It's taken a long time, almost a third of the way through Reign of Chaos before we've before we've met the Night Elves. But we are going to get a crash course in what they are all about over this and the next mission.
Are strange. Perhaps they are the dread spirits that you've all been so afraid of.
So these dancing lights floating around the trees that we've occasionally been attacking are wisps. Wisps are the worker units of the Night Elves. They both gather gold and gather lumber, and they do the latter in a unique way. They attach themselves to trees. They don't patrol back and forth between, like, a lumber mill or a war mill and the tree. Instead, they just seem to siphon lumber from the tree itself. Which, either way, that's bad news for us. Because there are a ton of wisps and a finite number of trees. Now, there are plenty of trees, but...
The warrior women have returned on flying beasts.
Oh, hey, hippogriffs. Hippogriff riders.
After our wolf riders have ensnared them.
There's more than enough lumber in this mission, but if we continuously let the wisps siphon lumber from us, steal the lumber from our area, that means that we have to fan further and further out, which just increases the length of the mission. So, on top of everything else that we have to do in this mission, we also want to just go around and clear the wisps out around our bases.
Something you're doing.
Ah, greetings, good orc. Strange to see one of you in these parts.
We are here to cut lumber, little goblin.
Well, there's this tribe of bearmen called furballs in this region that's been giving us trouble. If you kill the chieftain, we'll sell our goods to you at cost. We might even let you borrow a few shredders.
I'll consider it.
This is actually a really worthwhile side quest to do, because, as the goblin indicated, he's going to loan us shredders if we kill the furball chieftain.
Yes,
Shredders return 200 lumber at a time,
War Chief.
as opposed to the 10 of the peons.
Finally.
Now, our goal is to hit 15,000, and we will get 2 goblin shredders for doing that side quest. We have a couple of other things that we need to just clear out before we go towards that camp on the west side of the map.
I'll consider it.
You may have also noticed that we did not start with a gold mine. We had an upgraded Great Hall to start this off with, but
Finally,
the mine that it's built near is collapsed already by the start of the mission.
consider it. Whatever you
Plenty of forest, very little in the way of gold, which is not too bad because we don't need all that many units. Now, we're going to do one more thing down here. So the main thrust of this mission is that it's kind of a defense mission with an ambiguous time limit. Like, the hard time limit is you have to reach 15,000 lumber, but depending on how much you build using that lumber and how aggressive you are about pursuing it, the timer on this mission actually changes quite a bit. There is one other way to gain lumber in this mission, and it's to attack these Night Elf Outposts. Whenever you destroy one of their main buildings, which is the Tree of Life,
Great tree pulses with magic. We should keep our distance.
Ah, am I surrounded only by cowards? It's a tree like any other. Cut it down.
oh no, I didn't start building towers back here yet. So all these dudes will take down the Tree of Life, bring you some Shamans and Grom back to deal with the archers.
War Chief.
Because the peons are immune while they are in the gold mine harvesting gold, we really shouldn't lose any of those.
Yes.
And actually, the Shamans are pretty low, so they'll just help out with this. This blue base is luckily not a full base, it's just here so that you can really quickly destroy a Tree of Life.
The tree provided us with an abundance of lumber. If we find any more, then we'll hack them apart as well.
Yeah. An abundance, indeed, that's 3,000. 3,000 per Tree of Life. There are a couple of those. The rest of them are really well defended. The rest of them are full bases. So the really boring way to do this mission, the boring and easy way, is to just wait and harvest all of the lumber that you need. The quick way to do this, the quick and pretty difficult way, is to go after every Night Elf base. Now that winds up not being as quick as it sounds, even though the bounty is 3,000 per base, because it takes time to amass the forces, and in the meantime you're also using lumber to amass those forces. So it winds up being faster, but not as fast as it seems like it should be to do that.
Ready to ride.
So what we are going to do is continue to produce units and do a big snip ahead, because all we're doing is setting up some static defenses and hunkering down for like 15 more minutes. So I'll see you in a little bit when we have 15,000 lumber. This is why goblin shredders are so beautiful in this mission. They harvest extremely quickly.
Chieftain, the harvesting is complete.
Good. Then we'll start constructing the settlement immediately.
So this mission is a little bit boring. The next one really makes up for it. But first, we have an interlude with the Burning Legion in Ashenvale Forest.
Ashenvale Forest. After 10,000 years, I still recognize this cursed place. This is the veil of our ancient enemy, the Night Elves demigod, Cenarius.
Yes. Lord Archimon demands that Cenarius be destroyed before we launch the invasion of Kalimdor.
I would relish the chance to face him again in combat. But he is crafty and rarely appears in the open.
Fateful as it sounds, your pet orcs have recently despoiled these forest lands and incurred his wrath. Lord Archimond and I believe that the orcs are capable of killing Cenarius for us.
They would have little chance against Cenarius. If memory serves, his powers were quite formidable.
Yes, but so are yours. The blood pact that you made with the orcs long ago still binds them to you. You need only recharge their energies.
Just what are you suggesting, Dreadlord?
Spill your burning blood into this pool. Its corruption will lure the orcs to it. And once they've tasted your blood again, they will be unstoppable.
Who dares defile this ancient land? Who dares the wrath of Cenarius and the Night Elves?
The forest is coming alive! We're under attack!
Let battle be joined.
This mission is the polar opposite. Any peons in the base, we are going to immediately evacuate. These three bases over here on the west side of the river, they exist for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is just to buy us time.
And I shall do so again.
Just buy us minuscule amounts of time. They are indefensible.
We're under attack!
In the meantime, we need to build as much defense and build up as many units as possible to fend off everything that is going to come crashing down on this corner base.
We must fall back to the other side of the river.
Yeah, nah, we're way ahead of that grunt. This, by the way, is the glut of forces that we are up against. So Cenarius is a level 10, and he is a bit of a cheater in terms of hero power, because he is a demigod. On top of that, every single Night Elf unit is available to the Night Elves in this mission, including the big tier 3 ones, like the Chimera, those big purple two-headed beasts. Also the coolest Night Elf unit. They wash over the western bases one by one and just obliterate them. This gives us just enough time to prepare some adequate defenses for the inevitable attack on this fourth corner base. So I love this mission because it immediately puts you on the back foot. It immediately makes you feel super vulnerable in a way that not many other missions do. Even the defense missions that I love so much. Like, you know, at the end of those missions, like the end of the Undead campaign, the human defense mission, stuff like that, where you get to the end and then everything goes pear-shaped and you are swarmed all at once, and it's like, oh god, I have 15 seconds left, but there's just so many units rolling up on me that you get that moment of panic. This mission is that, except at the beginning. And
you will all die.
This is how they take over. They march their buildings into the camp that you once held, and then they just root all over their buildings, all of their production facilities. That is one of the main gimmicks of the Night Elves, is they can uproot all of their stuff, move it around, and all of their buildings count as units that do not use food supply. So while they're uprooted, they can just swat at you. They can attack as well.
Our town is under attack.
So we have almost lost that final base, but they bought us a precious couple of minutes.
Wait no longer.
Now, the limiting factor of this is that we did not start with very much gold. Well, we didn't start with enough, I should say. We are going to have to save up to expand once the danger is over.
Cleanse these brutes from the wilds. I will watch over you from the forest.
So this is now go time for real. And they do not fuck around. That's one attacking force. Huntresses, archers, hippogriff riders, and a chimera. And that's just from one side of the base. They send an equally large force to the north end. So you have to be prepared from both sides. So that's where the extra couple of towers that we set up come into play. That's where the burrows and the bunkers come into play. And we got this upgrade out in time. From the Spirit Lodge, which is our Tier 2 caster producing facility. We got the 2 levels of upgrades for our new Witch Doctor units. We got the Shamans last time. Shamans can purge debuffs. They can put a lightning shield on enemy units that damage them over time, as well as any units adjacent to them. And once we get a couple of upgrades for Shamans, they also get an autocast called Bloodlust, we've seen before. That just buffs.
Emanating from the wilderness. It might be a key to destroying scenarios.
That just buffs friendly units' attack speed. Witch Doctors, on the other hand, super useful. They are responsible for placing those sentry wards at all of the bases on the west side of the river, which is why we can actually see all of their activity through the fog of war at all times. We have wards in the base. They can also place stasis wards, and one final ward, the healing ward. Big AoE, sustained healing over time. We rushed for that upgrade for good reason. I forgot the wolves are here. This might actually not go super well. Nah, the healing ward actually gives us more than enough sustain. God, that's such a good ability. It's very mana heavy, but we're going to continue to move out. We have catapults in production. No, I don't think we need the extra Kodo yet. Like before, its buff is invaluable, so we're going to continue just trying to protect the one we have. They're really expensive to make, which makes it imperative that we just protect this one instead of building excess Kodos. And we're going to take the catapult and destroy the tree line up here. All the while, we would ideally like to have like 2 full unit groups by time we reach the Well of Chaos, tainted by the blood of Manaroth, which is more towards the Fog of War in like the northwest, north center, somewhere around there. But we have quite a few creep camps to go and clear a path through. And all the while, we're also going to have to deal with constant attacks from the north and south sides of the base. A really nice detail about this is how we retain all of that lumber that we spent all that time harvesting in the last mission. We're at a little bit over 14k after spending a bunch of it. This should be enough to deal with these couple of small furbolgs. If I could get close, we're going to take our shaman and just purge that lightning shield off so the witch doctor is not doing AoE damage to us. And in the meantime, we have an attack. I think the towers are more than enough for this. Oh. Forgot to set everyone to mine. Might want to drag one of them off or produce a peon to repair the towers, but the attacks luckily become a lot less scary after the initial wave. But they're just... it's oppressive because of how frequently you are under attack. Now, this final level of shaman training that we're upgrading at the Spirit Lodge is what is going to enable them to cast Bloodlust. Hugely beneficial buff. And then we're just going to keep our composition nice and varied from here. We need to get this healing ward down in melee range. I don't actually remember if the healing wards stack or not. Also, I should have mentioned this last time, since last time was our first time actually getting to control Grom. But his abilities as a Blade Master, I think this is our first agility hero, right? Yeah, because it was all strength and magic on both undead and human. Yeah, so this is our first agility-based hero. He has a passive that allows him to crit. He has a mirror image that produces illusions. He has Windwalk, which gives him bonus damage after coming out of stealth. And while in stealth, while in that Windwalk state, he also moves much faster. And then his ultimate, his level 6, is Blade Storm, which is a big AoE point blank around him, AoE damage over time. Goes into a whirlwind. We're definitely going to need to repair that watchtower, but all it really took to defend that was the watchtowers themselves and the single headhunter, which is pretty nice. Being efficient about this with our units.
We're under attack! Yes.
Now we're gonna, again, vary up the unit composition, make sure we have a nice mix of raiders, witch doctors, shaman, always at least one Kodo rider at all times, raiders, headhunters, grunts. We're gonna try to favor shamans, grunts, and raiders, though, because those are the big units that will become upgraded once we get to the Well of Chaos, because those are the actual orc units, not just horde units like the headhunters who are trolls, or the witch doctors who are also trolls. First, everyone's gonna pass through the Waygate. We have like 2 or 3 more neutral camps of increasingly dangerous satyrs, but between all the buffs that we can get from our caster units, our shamans, and our witch doctors, and all of this, oh, nice healing over time, we'll be totally fine. And in the meantime, is one large unit group, and we are well on our way to getting the second up and running, which will be nice for dealing with one of the bases eventually, and then Cenarius himself.
Consider it. Whatever you say.
Work complete.
Is this up here? Or do we still have a way to go? Oh, hey, Rain of Fire. Instead of microing everything back and just taking pot shots as we kind of kite them, why not just drop a healing ward and totally neutralize all of that AoE? I like this mission a whole fucking lot. Especially because we're starting to get a really big variety of orc units, and the orc casters are honestly some of my favorites. Oh, this son of a bitch! The fucking Night Elf AI in this mission basically tower rushing us. Except without the rush. Got plenty of idle peons though, so we are going to build some more defense and repair those towers.
War Chief.
Oops. Actually, we're gonna put all of these and rally them here, since they're like the choke points up top are so narrow. There's no sense rallying them to Grom anymore.
Finally. Yes, War Chief.
Probably more useful to just get that next unit group started rallying into the base itself. Plus, if anything dangerous comes, it's easier to defend that way. Hey, there it is.
The dark energies that I sense come from the pool.
Foul orcs. The Burning Masters charged us with protecting this well. You are unworthy of drinking from these dark waters.
I don't know what you are or who you serve, but no one bars my way.
Work complete.
Blade Storm damage is so ridiculous. They were all dead by time even the satyr finished speaking.
War Chief. The pool emanates brave power, but I smell this stench of a demon curse about it.
I am cursed already. If I must drink from these waters to defeat Cenarius, then I will.
No, that goes against everything the War Chief teaches us. We can't let rage overcome us again.
No, warrior. We must embrace it as never before. We must become the vessels of destruction that we were meant to be. Yes! I feel the power once again. Come, my warriors. Drink from the dark waters, and you will be reborn.
So now that everyone has drunk from the Well of Chaos, we're back to being red-skinned and demon corrupted. These are all now called Chaos Orcs. They do vastly more damage. They deal full damage to all armor types, including Cenarius' divine armor, his cheating armor. But we now have essentially what is chaos damage. Not even essentially, it is chaos. I forgot it actually changes the damage type
Fire. Heed my call.
to chaos. And as the hint suggests, Chaos Shamans have different
Press
abilities.
us hard, and the demigod still lurks in the forest. How can we possibly defeat him?
Weak-minded coward, nothing is invincible. If we are to live, then this Cenarius must die.
So that is what evens the odds a lot. And with 2 full unit groups now, we can just march into that light blue base, level it, raise it to the ground, and provoke Cenarius to come out. I think that's how this works. It has been a while. But we also have Unholy Frenzy on the Shaman now. Or the Warlocks, rather. And Cripple. No auto-casting, but kind of more potent versions of some of those buffs and debuffs. That's also something that Purge does on top of removing enemy buffs and debuffs on your own friendly units. It will also slow purged units down for a little bit. So Cripple is just a more potent version of that. And then they also have Firebolt, which is a damaging nuke, and a stun, short duration stun. They came at the exact wrong time, exact right time to show off this new damage type, though, and just how much more potent we have become. So that would ordinarily be a slightly threatening wave, but we just crush them. The same way that we are just about to walk into the light blue base and annihilate it.
How can I help? Whatever you say, I'll consider.
Man, I really hope this works the way I remember it working, where you just destroy one base. Let's pull the second unit group back. Make sure Grom is more or less out in front. Close enough. Oh no! Damn it, he's falling back to the middle now. Goddamn collision size and pathing. And there's very little actually here to stop you from doing whatever you want. For as formidable as all of the attack waves sent against you can be, the defense of the bases is not actually all that much to worry about. We'll lose a couple of units here, but we'll still have like a unit group and a half to attack Cenarius with. Man, like, these are my favorite buildings. Even the defensive buildings, they're versions of the guard towers. Like, they're just big-ass, cool-looking trees that throw rocks at you. And then while the trees are not producing units, they can also take swipes at you while they're rooted. Oh, I forgot the Kodo beasts also get an upgrade, since they are ridden by an orc.
Yes, War Chief.
Well, you gotta deal with the Chimera somehow, so we're just gonna firebolt the shit out of it. Oh well, sack the Warlock. Do we have anything back at base? Yeah, we've still been producing more.
Demons did their job well. You creatures are as reckless and bloodthirsty as they ever were.
We orcs are free, demigod.
Is that what you tell yourself? Despite what you may believe, you are no better than a malignant bile that flows through your veins.
Damn you!
I defeated your kind in ages past, and I shall do so again.
My dude stands no chance, even though he has an absurd HP pool.
Right away. The demigod has fallen. The war song is supreme.
Hello again, Gramash.
Manaroth. It can't be.
I've come to bring you and your brethren back into the fold. Though you orcs failed the Burning Legion before, you will now serve us once again.
No.
Stupid, pitiful creature. I am the rage in the heart. I am the fury of your thoughts. I alone empowered you to bring chaos to this world, and by the endless void you shall.
Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.